Pocket heals as well as that damage boost now making their way over. The Ant Matrix alive going forward, and yeah, and especially with the wall too, trying to cut off the attempt from the Chengdu Hunters to come right back into the rocket barrage coming alive. He gets immediately shut down. I love the reaction that we had right there from Bianca. Flora now with the Deadeye, and wow, Jaws already with.
There's no way you're getting that off. 50% now, and this is really going to be their first fight. However, Friday already getting taken out, and that's a big EMP.
Yep, fighting for right here, and it's going to be a cleanup, and this is going to allow the Hunters to make their way over to the point right now, cleaning things up. Jinmu also just tacking on so much of that pressure. They're really going to have to focus down on Jinmu, who's been an absolute threat from the very beginning. Gaga's going to clean things up, and I'm going to be looking at Flora to be able to take care of Jinmu in that regard.
From Gaga to try and intercept them from going to the point. There it is, but the self-destruct comes out on top of the NYXL.
Yeah, they were able to get into some cover right here, and the Blizzard coming alive. Excel right now going forward, as well as the fact that they're holding on to a lot of those ultimates. They didn't have to burn too much other than that sound barrier. That Blizzard, big anti right there. Yapon, he's down, and so is the Rocket Barrage to follow through with that huge anti that we just saw coming in from the Hunters. Wow, what a way to retake this point. It's going to be a cleanup right here, Jaws, and Hunters, despite it going back and forth, New York, they're looking fantastic on trying to contest them, but Jinmu, what a great follow-up. Taking away, they're going to have to contest right here. Great walls to buy in some of that time, but the Shatter from Yakung could make it or break it. Only finds also off to the side, deals a lot of that damage, although also does get out in time, does have that Diva mech to reset real quick, utilizing the ultimate. He's stuck around the wall. Wow, what a wall. Actually helped out Flo right there, but Jonak unfortunately isn't as lucky right here, and the number advantage going in favor of Hunters. Elsa, Gaga, absolutely unstoppable forces, not only creating some of that space for the minefield, but they clear out all of New York.
This is chaos. Still in control of the Chengdu Hunters.
Deadeye now coming in, does find Yakung off to the side. Not only did they hack him, but he also gets put to sleep immediately. Jonak's out of the fight, and Friday's gonna fall down with him. That means no sustainability left for New York, and Hunters pushing this over to overtime. They're staking onto the point, and they do manage to secure that first round of the first map.
He's gonna be able to jump on with the ball, and he's not gonna get punished either, mind you. The Moira does almost negative damage. At least Jonak on the Batiste can do a lot more to a ball diving in.
At least maybe having some of that momentum and mobility to try to maneuver themselves around the point too, but New York, they're looking fantastic for this initial push right here. They do manage to take the point first, but it's very similar to compared to what we had seen in that first EMP, and Friday wanting to get out of that vision of where the EMP would hit so that way Friday could protect the rest of NYXL with that sound barrier.
Wow, Leave ends up going down to Yukpang of all people. I mean, Flora's still on the point as well. I don't think it matters really if Feather and Flora end up dying here out of hell. However, I say that, and Nano Farah right on top of your head gives him an old punch, knocks him completely out. And yeah, Jonak falls as well. However, like, it doesn't really matter at this point, especially if you're the NYXL. You have 85%. That's one and a bit fights if you manage to recap, of course. Leave expending the EMP here. And now this is kind of...
I mean, those minefields are there, but, you know, Gaga's going to get back onto that point rather quickly. And at the same time, I mean, NYXL, they have 90% already on board here. Now Friday's gone, though, and that's 2 members down for the NYXL. Jinmu came in from the flank, caught them sleeping. Despite Monk falling through, the number advantage still goes in favor of Hunters, and they're trying to push so that way they can be able to hold on to this advantage. NYXL now, the Shatter coming alive, not going to find anyone instead here. The Hunters are still winning in trading numbers, and Yakpung, he's going to be going down and meeting the rest of NYXL in that spawn before they regroup.
Oh man, the solo EMP from Feather, not quite sure.
Distract NYXL, but they're going to be able to move right in, push it over into overtime. The Coalescence finding Monk, that's going to be a big deal here. The Valkyrie's not online, and Gaga now with those minefields to create some of that space on the point. They're going to have to respect that Diva Bomb coming in live from Elsa, and goodbye Jonak with that follow from Gaga. I love the way that Hunters are playing so close together, being able to utilize not only some of that synergy that they're building into, but also a lot of those good comms going in. Now another EMP coming alive, but it's just a matter of holding it onto overtime right now, Jaws. And Hunters, they still have that number advantage, and Jinmu is managing to keep everybody out. Chengdu Hunters
play Kovacs, right? Like, what are you going to do with the Widowmaker? He has to jump at you and try and kill you. The Orisa is going to go golden as the Nano comes out.
And you can see Yakpung now trying to make sure he can clear some space for the rest of NYXL to make their way in. As they do find Elsa, you still have to keep your eyes over to Nisha, who does get that res. That does burn out the res, but at the same time, that means that Shield is back in the fray, and that is going to allow the rest of Hunters to be able to clean things up. Now Jonak has fallen, and so has Ivy. That's going to be both supports out for the NYXL with no sustainability left, though, and Jinmu holding on to the rocket barrage. I'm a little worried here for NYXL's next attempt to try to push on.
It's sometimes the best thing you can do because it stops Ivy playing aggressive angles. You can see here they're trying to go for a flank, trying to take out Jinmu in the skies.
Oh yeah, George managing to prioritize Jinmu, but he's unstoppable. He does manage to not only demech Bianca, but clean up Bianca too. Leave is gonna follow up, and Jinmu is unstoppable, looking exactly as strong as he was within last weekend. It's a team wipe, at least NYXL, they're coming in. They are gonna be able to try to talk on some of this extra pressure. Leave is displaced, and he's getting focused down by Yakpung, and Jonak is in the back. He is able to enable the rest of NYXL, but they've lost both of their supports. Jonak falls through, so does Friday, and that leaves no sustainability for the rest of the NYXL, whereas the rest of Hunters, they're still able to try and attack on so much of that pressure. Gaga falls through. He took a lot of damage, but when you have Elsa right there in the front lines with that shield, it's so difficult to track forward. And with Hunters slowly making their way and easing in, Jaws, NYXL now are down 2 members. Now finding Gaga, but is it going to be enough? I mean, the Hunter spawn is right there.
It is right there. Elsa's been naded too, so they can chase him down. Problem is with Flora right now. Okay, at least they catch Monk. That should hopefully make them back off. Jinmu ends up going down as Nisha was resurrecting Monk, so again, they're going to have to play a little bit more safe. That Bob's going to help stem the bleeding just a little bit, but Flora's not being pocketed. He gets taken out by Gaga.
And that was the biggest threat too for Jinmu, and you know, being able to pinpoint Flora. Gaga is now back sent to the spawn, and I love the way that NYXL just played this right here, actually playing around the Bob, who manages out because the payload is right there, and the rest of Hunters, they're making their way over to the front lines.
Yeah, there's absolutely no way you don't Nana Barrage right now. I mean, he's trying to poke out Jonak just enough. That's a big fire nade in the front line too. Yakpung and Bianca are going to have to play a little bit more safe. I'll be very, very scared at the moment as well, as Leave has popped those sights. Mines come out on the point. A sleeping Ivy goes down on Flora, and I think this might just be it.
Oh, Jinmu now pulls up the rocket barrage. I don't think there's going to be anybody else left on the point to contest, especially now closing things up, and Jinmu following in. Hunters now with a speed run. I mean, Jaws, when we were going to do
3 different fights happening at once. Jimmy's trying to hack somebody, and then the rest of the team are trying to jump on them, right? I mean, that's the ideal situation. How does he get that hack? I don't know, but Yakpung is dead already.
Oh.
So, nice start for the Hunters, and now NYXL have to run for the hills.
The follow-up, the pretty steep follow, I mean, Yakpung, he thought he had the position. He was able to try to go around the corner, try to save himself, and now you have the rest of the NYXL. They're falling through. Despite Flora finding those picks, I mean, they're going to be able to press their advantage. This first point, it's going to be going over to the Hunters right now, Jaws. Excelsior, they're going to be
trying to get the hack, and he does, actually, on Friday, and Friday's already dead.
Oh, that's going to be huge right here. That just leaves Jonak for the sustainability. Are the rest of the Hunters going to go in? No, it's big anti actually hitting the back line of the Hunters, and that's actually going to be the reason why Nisha's falling through. Monk survives very briefly. I mean, we'll have the Nana who's coming in, just wants to go for a reset, because right now, NYXL, they do manage to stave the rest of Hunters off. For the meantime, hacking that health pack on the bottom right there too is going to control some of that space. Duplicate coming alive. Monk gets anti though, and he takes on a lot of that damage. He falls through before actually utilizing the nano boost. Now Yakpung though is going to be able to extend some of that aggression, and the rest of NYXL, they're burning through some of these ultimates right here. Nearly all of them right now, Jaws, and they are going to be able to clean the point around Hunters, but I like the way that Hunters actually waited, especially be the cause of death for Flora right here, and that's going to be an aggressive push coming in from the Hunters. Now utilizing those ultimates that we made note of. Jimmy falls through though. Ivy has been a big threat, and the grab coming alive. Now being able to try to close things up though. I like the positioning that we're seeing from Ivy, who has once again been a pretty big threat, but Yakpung is falling through, and Bianca's taking a lot of that damage. Does have that Diva Bomb to reset real quick, control some of that space, but the rest of the Hunters, they're on phase right now, Jaws, and you can already see the way that they're playing so close together. They want to make sure that Friday isn't a threat with this rally. They're cleaning up the point, but nobody left for the NYXL. NYXL to do anything. The ball swap coming in from Yakpong, but he immediately gets deleted. And the way that Leaf now utilizes the duplicate right here, I mean, Jaws, the Hunters, they're feeling themselves, but can they clear up the point in time before the rest of NYXL manage to regroup and find those picks? They've already lost Gaga right now, but the number advantage still goes in favor to the Hunters. Despite just losing Gaga, also taking a lot of that damage, does have that grab, and now the duplicate to go in. Right here, you see Ivy taking a lot of that damage, but with that grab that he was able to build up twice, that point goes in favor. So then they're forcibly making them focus down a lot of the back line, whereas you have the front line being immediately pressured by Leave and Gaga, who has just been absolutely running amok. Jimmy finds Yakpong. He tried to literally just jump in once, and Jimmy's unstoppable, finding two heads. What are we playing right now, Jaws? It's just a matter of sending the NYXL back to the spawn. It's gonna be a cleanup. It's looking like hungry hippos here, except for the Hunters are the hippos, and the NYXL are unfortunately finding themselves back on the board at the same. He has been somebody to keep your eyes out for. If it wasn't Jinmu, it's Jimmy this time around.
Yeah, look at his corner. Young Monk, unfortunately, trapped in the corner, gets anti-naded. At least they trade Monk, though. Now it's actually a fantastic trade, just taking down one of the healers, but Gaga comes in once more to clean house. And one small play there that I want to mention from Gaga is he just absolutely domes the NYXL. His
like
mind, he used it super defensively. Like, he waited for the NYXL to jump in, used the mine so no one could follow up with that nano boost onto Yakpong, and they couldn't do anything. There's now a minute remaining for the NYXL to gain a little bit of point presence. They've got no...
Coming alive. Yakpong does have that primal to reset. Flora needs to get a big pulse bomb, at least on the backline, to continuously pressure on the Hunters. They do find Jimmy, which is going to be a big deal, especially with the amount of pressure that we've been seeing coming in from Jimmy on that high ground. Although it's not enough, Jonak is gone, and Friday, that just leaves Friday for the sustainability before falling through the spawn. You currently have Leaf having that duplicate to go in for a quick reset and cleaning up around the NYXL. They didn't even have a chance of even taking a single tick here, Jaws. And the NYXL, they're finding themselves meeting back into that spawn room before trickling in and delaying the inevitable.
Yeah, they're finished now. This is all but over. Nice little kill from Bianca there, but there's not really much point in you fighting any longer. Jimmy does end up going down. In fact, Flora does get Nisha also, but OT is ticking down immensely quickly. Can they actually turn this around? Maybe so.
Oh, they're still trying to trickle back in. I mean, going to sleep and getting cleaned up. Yeah, no, Yakpong immediately just got deleted right there. I love the follow-up too. I mean, at the same time, Chengdu Hunters, they do take the first series that we're going to be casting today in the APAC region over the NYXL.